For years, it has been seen how the state of the environment has been falling drastically, worrying more and more the population and, likewise, creating campaigns for the conservation of the environment. More and more people have been joining to this initiative and currently cannot count the number of organizations that exist in the world. It is shocking and alarming the fact that the Caribbean and the Central American Pacific are the seas that accumulate the largest amount of garbage in the continent, mostly plastic and microbeads used in cosmetic products. In fact, the amount of garbage that floats in the seas are very difficult to accurately specify, and very few countries are able to do so. In Central America, the only one that has studies on the subject is Costa Rica. This issue has a global character and requires international agreements, such as MARPOL, and international efforts aimed at reducing it and ensuring sustainable development of the marine environment. Achieving the management and conservation of the region becomes a need of regional relevance, and it is once a formidable change. The changing nature, the great economic interest, and the absence of a legal framework to conserve the biodiversity in the high seas, compliance with agreements in a space located in hundreds of kilometers offshore, complicate the whole task. However, for the countries of Central America, it is vital to preserve the ecological and economic links that exist between their coasts. In Costa Rica, there are several organizations that treat this issue. Nonetheless, the most famous and most stable one is Marviva. In 2002, a group of philanthropists worried about protecting the great marine wealth of the eastern tropical Pacific made an exploratory trip through Ecuador, Colombia, Panama, and Costa Rica. For this reason, they proposed a model for the management and responsible use of resources, based initially in the support of control and surveillance activities, the establishment of standards, and the improvement of legal procedures. That's why, in 2003, the Marviva Foundation began operations in Costa Rica and Panama, with the support of the Swiss philanthropist Stefan Schmidli. But later, in 2006, it will also set up in Colombia. Since its inception, Marviva works in these three countries as an NGO, non-profit aimed at the conservation and sustainable use of marine and coastal goods and services, with special attention to the marine protected areas, and currently with priority on the process of marine spatial planning. Their stated mission is to promote the conservation and sustainable use of the marine and coastal resources in the eastern tropical Pacific. They have this mission in order to achieve an eastern tropical Pacific biodiverse, healthy, and generating well-being for the present and future generations. Its working model is based on political advocacy, participatory processes, multi-sectoral alliances, and the use of communication tools in order to promote policies and standards, and encourage changes in the attitude regarding the marine issues. Since the beginning of this organization, several objectives have been proposed in order to be complete. Among them, they are the creation of discussion and coordination spaces aimed at improving relations related to human activities at sea. Then we have technical and scientific advice to governments, communities, companies, and other decision makers in the formulation of policies and actions. Then we have the strengthening of community participation in decision making. And last, it's to support for the management and control of marine protected areas and create an awareness and calls to an action through social communication tools.
With the passage of time, technological advances have been generated and have contributed significantly to meet the objectives of the Foundation. Starting from the point that technological advances serve as channels in several ways: advances in improving internal infrastructure, advances in communication with taxpayers, and progress in optimizing the tools used to achieve objectives. Internally, these advances have contributed to the design of a user-friendly website, where in addition to displaying a complete menu, it allows the users to become a contributor through a donation immediately. This type of facilities allow the structure experience that the users live in a positive way, where you can have access to data such as financial reports, rationale of the foundation, the main donors, and information about the foundation's collaborators. In addition, the website has updated data on current projects and agreements or interinstitutional alliances. The reliable access to this type of information creates in the user a much broader picture of what the foundation is about, what it does, and where it is going. What is sought with the excellent performance of this virtual tool is to seek a specific donation based on the knowledge generated by the users when navigating. As part of technological advances, the Foundation is involved with the trend of apps. It has created 3 apps which have different functions, but each of them are focused on fulfilling the objectives of the Foundation. Marine Signal for Responsible Fish Consumption. The application was developed by Marviva, aimed at the responsible consumption of sea fish. This tool uses information based on the IUCN threat categories as well as resilience to establish consumption categories: recommended, moderate, and not recommended. The search for the species can be done by common and scientific name, displaying a detailed technical file for each species, including a photograph of the fish and its distribution in a map in the region.
On the other hand, this non-profit organization has repeatedly demonstrated not only its efforts but also its contribution to the conservation of marine waters and its commitment to transform fishing business in the waters of the Pacific Sea so that these are more honest and sustainable. As proof of its commitment, Vivamar has established the so-called standard that include 4 principles. The first principle is the principle of fish species conservation. The main concept behind this principle is the assurance of a conserved variety of fish species in the working areas. For this, trader has to be able to identify the different commercialized species and the threat status of the captured ones. The second principle is the principle of responsible internal processes, which encourage companies to create policies and practices that promote the right application of the standard. It also requires the companies to promote the environmental responsibility both inside the company as well as outside. And then we have the principle of consumer awareness. This principle stands for the use of new campaigns or communication strategies that attempt to create awareness among the consumers, teaching them the importance of responsible consumption and commercialization. The last one principle is the principle of social responsibility. Its main goal is that companies develop strong relationships with fishing communities that are directly or indirectly involved with the company in order to increase the support towards those communities. When it comes to the financial area, it can be said that this non-profit organization has enjoyed the support of other national and international non-profit organizations with the same focus. They have also received contributions from the government, as can be seen in the chart. Last year, Marviva obtained a total of $2,700,000, and thanks to the financial support and the in-kind donations of the supporters of this organization, Marviva was able to invest in different projects and programs in Colombia, Costa Rica, and Panama, as can be seen in the chart.
Without doubt, Marviva has been bringing undeniable changes in the marine ecosystem and probably will continue to do so with the development of more projects and programs.